I'll try to be short and to the point. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1983, the Mianus River Bridge collapsed. We as government acted immediately. It was a crisis. There was a bridge on I-95 that was missing a considerable span. We didn't have meetings about it, discussions, task force, or blue ribbon commissions. We had to fix the bridge. I would submit to you that the news we received yesterday that frankly we knew was long in coming, that we are $1 billion in deficit with 160 days left in this fiscal year and potentially $10 billion in deficit over the next 2 fiscal years is as equal a crisis, equal as emergency as the Mianus River Bridge collapse. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Yes, there are many tough decisions that have to be made, but I assume that from your folks' perspective, you want us to make them quickly, because the quicker we make them, the easier it is for you to plan. I've heard from so many mayors and First Selectmen around this state, we know you're going to give us bad news. Do it quickly so we can plan. The longer we wait, not only does the deficit get worse, but it makes it more difficult for you. And by the way, you are the folks that are on the front line. When somebody's road is got a pothole in it or a service is cut, they're not calling their state rep, they're calling their mayor and First Selectmen. Sometimes we have the luxury of hiding behind caucus and General Assembly and we're not in session, blah, 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 blah. You folks are on the front line. So what can we do for you? We talked about mandate relief, and again, in due respect to Representative Sharkey, we've been talking about this for a long time. Let's do something about it. The last session we had, which was less than 1 week ago, and also the session on November 24th, we proposed the following: that we should postpone the implementation of the in-school suspension policy, that we should postpone the implementation of making the juvenile justice age, the juvenile jurisdiction age, 16 and 17 years old, to save hundreds and thousands of dollars. We proposed that the websites that you have can be used for legal postings, if you choose, in lieu of spending thousands of dollars to newspapers. We proposed that you should have more than 7 days to post your minutes and meetings on your websites. And we proposed that before we vote as a legislature for an unfunded mandate, let's at least have 2/3 of us do so to make sure we're really thinking about it before we pass this burden on to you. Every one of those proposals were shot down on a party line vote. We need for you to turn to the legislators that are in this room, Republican and Democrat, and say, how did you vote on it and why, and we want relief. We have to be held accountable to you. We all represent the same people. One more comment: it is not fair to only say, we can't cut this and we can't cut that. Senator Looney mentioned, for instance, corrections. We can't cut corrections. We need people to look after our prisoners. Absolutely right. However, let's peel back the onion. If you peel back the onion, the Department of Corrections has 19 prisons and 40 deputy wardens. I defy any of you to tell me what a deputy warden does and whether or not we need 40 of them. If we were to cut that in half, does that mean prisoners are going to be running loose on the street? No. There is a way that we can analyze what we do and make efficiencies and eliminate waste and duplication without putting aside a sacred cow. We can't touch this, we can't touch that. Well, if you do that enough, then we might as well just hang it up and go home now.
Okay.
We need to be accountable to you.
Thank you, Larry. Let me give Deputy Speaker